Oops, what am I doing here? All right. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Adita. How's everyone doing? Hey, Steph. I'll see you soon. It is a soggy morning, so for anybody who was planning to join Amala Method this morning, we are doing it in the schoolhouse, which means I have to make it for less people because James put a big couch in here, which I can't move in the morning. So, for distance sake, I think 3, maybe 4 can fit in there. So make sure if you're planning to come that you let me know or you register because I want to make sure I can fit you in. But I don't know, guys, kind of excited to have a class in the schoolhouse again. It's like old times, but better and weirder. No, just kidding. It's always been weird. Before we get started, I have to show you my new mug. You're not jammed. I'm just not moving. So this is from Vivi, and if you don't know Vivi, you need to get to know Vivi. She has a store on Verbeck Street, Vivi on Verbeck, and she makes amazing, um, pottery things and paintings. And she made this one for me with my 2020 word, which is flow. And I kind of want to talk to you guys about that a little bit today. Hi, Maya. I have been thinking about you. How are you? Hi, Cindy. Hi, Jean. Hey, Rachel. Mm. But seriously, can you even handle it? It's even more beautiful in person. So if you come in for a session or something, remind me to show you this mug. It's just so pretty with all the blue colors. I think it looks nice against the purple velvet back there. Hi, Beth. So continuing with story time. Story time with Sarah. Um, back. Wait, okay, so we left off with my trip to Sedona, and we kind of went off on a tangent about narcissists, which was important. Um, but I want to tell you about how I met Vivi because that's a special story too. So pre-pandemic, pre-corona time, Third in the Berg in Harrisburg, all of the art galleries open up and everyone's walking around and hanging out on the third Friday. And I had moved into Harrisburg because last year my husband and I separated and I moved out of the schoolhouse. And so for the first time since I was like 19, I was living on my own half the time in Midtown and just kind of like not sure what to do with myself. So a friend and I decided to do the Third in the Berg, and I've been hearing a lot about Vivi, so I wanted to check that out. So we ended up walking down, and Vivi hosts these impromptu little wine parties in her gallery with Jeb, and we ended up sitting there and drinking wine and like looking at all her things and hearing the stories and looking at pictures. And I remember just feeling like at a time in my life when I wasn't sure what was going to happen and if I was going to be okay, that was a moment that I remember feeling like I'm going to be okay. And this is part of Cancer energy that I want to take note of to you guys because it's very rare that I'm going to say something nice about Cancer energy. But I am a Cancer rising, and so there is something good about that energy, and that energy um, allows you to bring your home with you, right? And I sometimes forget that, but then I remember because it's very true. You bring your home with you. So in that moment, I was reminded that I bring my home with me and that I can interact with people that I just met and form meaningful connections and feel part of the whole even when my personal life was not feeling very part of the whole. So that felt like, whew, like, okay, it's going to be all right, because it always is all right, right? It always works out in some way, shape, or form. And Vivi was a big part of that for me. So I just have a feels in my heart for the Viv. Yeah, I'm such a Cancer hater. That's me. I should get a t-shirt. And I feel like, which is totally like wrong with me, I feel totally fine about being a Cancer hater since I have Cancer in my chart, like Cancer rising. So I'm like, it's totally fine for me to be mean about it. But I mean, come on, guys. Like, to get real here, like, we've had a double Cancer July month, and that's just not cool. Like, Cancer season is hard anyway, but like double, like, what the heck? So I'm looking forward to Leo season. I don't feel that energy yet, but I hear it's on the way. Where are all my Leos at? I know Claudia's doing camp, so she's not on here, but I do get along really well with Leos. I seem to get along really well with Aries. So that's cool. I think I'm actually really surrounded right now by Virgos, and that's interesting because Virgos are also annoying. So anyway, that's just a reminder that there are good things about Cancer energy, and one of those things is that you can bring your home with you. And it's important to know that when times are changing so very fast. Um, I like Geminis too. I actually do like Geminis. I actually do. I know, Zoe, you're a Gemini, and my friend Megan is a Gemini. I really like her. Um, do you, Rachel? What's your sign? Because I mean, obviously somebody has to like Cancers. Just kidding. I'm sorry to all of you Cancer people out there. So mean. But seriously. Okay. Um, okay, so we've got Zoe's Gemini. I think that I do actually like Geminis, but it's a tricky thing because with Geminis, you just have to not try to like pin them down to something, right? Like if you can just allow a Gemini to be all the things and just boop, 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 move around, then everyone's good. But if you're like, Gemini, you need to stay in one place and have one thought pattern, they're like, maybe you need to not be in my life. But I'm like that too because I feel like I have two placements of Gemini in my chart, but one of them, my North Node is in Gemini, so it's a big one. Mhm. I know you do, Zoe. It's funny. I look forward to seeing you today. By the way, our session is here in the schoolhouse. All right, so I didn't really have a topic for today except to tell you about Vivi's mug. It felt really important. Well, I've been trying to get this mug. Oh no, I want to talk to you about flow. Okay. Okay. I want to talk to you about flow. That is actually what I wanted to talk to you about. And I have to tell you, I'm sitting here being such a squirrel this morning, and I have both of the skulls sitting here staring at me, especially Peony, because she was in the other room and I could like feel her energy being like, why am I not in the computer room? And they're both like, focus, focus. So I'll try a little bit. So I want to talk to you about flow. I picked a word like this for 2020 because I think my word for 2019 was power. Okay. And power is an interesting one for me, and I learned a lot of lessons through it because in my mind, up until that point, what did power mean? It was more of a masculine energy. Okay. And this has actually been coming up a lot in readings. So maybe take note of this one. My random stuff comes to a point at some point. Um, Power, historically, in this patriarchal framework that we're currently in, has been a very masculine energy. It's a very external driving force type of thing, getting things done. When it comes to women, it means we need to be able to be very aggressive in the workplace. We need to be able to take care of our families as well, and just kind of be all things to all people, and like never have a breakdown, right? And never need nurturing ourselves. Okay, so power with that masculine driving force is what I had always thought about and what I thought I needed. On the other side of that is the feminine power, okay? And that requires us to go in to ourselves to access the power. It is more quiet, it is intuitive, and it is very, very, very powerful. It is very strong because it's rooted down into the earth. It is not this external show of strength, okay? It's not a peacock dance. It's true, rooted down into earth power. So, learning the differences and feeling into those differences has been really interesting to me because you need both. Like you have to have a balance because you do need to have that ability to kind of go externally and get things done, right? But if that's all you do, if you're always in this mode, just driving forward, you never get to sit back into your own seat of power and drive from there. This here is not a lot of connection, right? It's not a lot of connection to that power. When you're in here, you're connecting to yourself and you're making decisions a little more, I don't want to say carefully, but thoughtfully, okay? And really doing it in tune with yourself. So, learning that those two different energies are both valid and important, but they need to be balanced within you in a way that makes sense. It was a big one for me. So, I came in hard with the power in 2019, and it was very chaotic. And I came in like a wrecking ball. Do you know that song? I'm not ashamed to admit that I know it and I really like it. So it was like that. That's how I used my power at the beginning of 2019. And I needed to because I hadn't used my power ever. So I needed to know it was there and I needed to see that I could kind of plow through and things would change and move. On the end of 2019, I calmed the hell down and began to realize that my true power is not in that kind of movement for myself. It's in a more internal movement and it's more figuring out what it is that drives me. Who am I? What are my thoughts about? What makes me feel happy? How do I feel grounded in my everyday life? How do I wake up in the morning, see what lays before me, and say, okay, this is good. I could do it. So that was a big learning, big learning. And then 2020 rolls in, and I was like, well, clearly I'm going to need a different kind of word to get through this year. And I picked flow because it seemed very clear that with 2020's energy, if I didn't have myself in a place of like, movement's coming all the time, I was gonna end up like breaking all my bones because oh my God, or have whiplash or something. So it means a lot to me. It's been a very healing word for 2020 because it just takes a lot of the anxiety of all of this out of it for me because I know that if I just allow myself to be moved and yet still stay rooted in my center and who I am and I just stay in touch with that, I will be guided through this chaos one way or the other and it will be fine. And more than fine, it'll be better than I could have manipulated it to be myself because I've also learned that power does not mean control. And that's a difficult one for me because I love to control everything a lot. So I am a Scorpio. So letting go of my need to control everything was a huge block remover as well. If you need to control everything, you really can't flow, right? Because it needs to go a certain way, or otherwise you're like, we're not doing this. So learning that true strength does not mean controlling everybody or controlling all of my circumstances was a huge one. So as we continue to move into the second half of 2020, think about what your word was, right? What was your word? I see Johanna said trust, but think about what your word was. And I posted in the restoration group yesterday that to look at your July readings that I sent you and see what they said, like review them a little bit, see what energies have shown up for you that were in there, see how that Ganesh energy has shown up for you, and just take note of it, because as we move into August, things will definitely shift radically. Just the fact that Leo season's coming up is a radical shift in itself. August is always a different month, but it's going to be really, really different this time. So just kind of sink into that. What was your word? What does it mean to you? And maybe ask yourself, what did your word mean to you back in January when you chose it? What does it mean to you now? How have you changed? I'm going to do that exercise for myself as well. So just some things to think about. You hear my people yelling? That's interesting. Sarah, let's talk about that today. I'm going to pull you guys a card for this Thursday. And I also wanted to tell you about things coming up. So let me do that before I pull a card. So this weekend is our first Oracle Circle in person in the Fairy Ring, and that is sold out. But I have another one coming up on August 20th, which has seats available. If you've never done an Oracle Circle with me, I don't really know how it's going to go with the fairies because they've definitely got their own ideas. But everybody will get a reading, and we will tap into collective energy. That much I know. And we're doing it in the back of my property in a place I call the Fairy Ring. It's really cool. So that's happening on August 20th if you're interested in that. And I'm also doing the Energetic Boundaries workshop on August 6th. Highly recommend. And we are enrolling now still for September's Intuition Mentorship Workshop thingy, which I feel like I need to put a new name on because it sounds too much like another thing I'm doing. So that is a 6-week journey, and we're enrolling for that. I feel like that's everything. Every Thursday we have a Mala method. We need to sign up in advance for that because if we need to be inside, we need to do that. I feel like that's everything. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'll see you tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be a bigger update. We're going to tap in with Peony, and we're going to see what the heck's going on for the weekend. And Restoration members, tomorrow at 4:30 is a live channeling with Peony. So in the Facebook group, I'm going to go live with her. And if you are a member of Restoration, the subscription service, not just the group, you can get a channeled message from Peony. You can either ask her a question or we can do dealer's choice and she can just tell you about yourself, which I'm sure she will. These skulls. So that is what is happening. All right. Let's see what our card is. This one right here. You know what that face means, right? It's either the Devil card or the Tower. And this deck doesn't have a Devil card, so, ooh, it's the Tower. Do not fear the Tower. Okay, this is fine. Just take a look at it. This is actually like the most gentle illustration of the Tower I've ever seen. She somehow made it look really beautiful. But what's important actually to note about the illustration of this and Tower energy generally is if you see in between, oh, where's my finger? Right here, straight up through the middle, there is beautiful, beautiful fertile valley, water streaming through, sunlight, all of the things. And that's really the point of the Tower energy. And, you know, we're kind of in Tower energy for the whole year. So this is probably just a reminder. New World is coming in, and we're going to talk more about this tomorrow. And in order for that to happen, Tower energy is necessary. It's like our demolition team is here to knock down all the bullshit so we can make something beautiful, right? So, ooh, sorry guys, I wanted to pull some like really pretty card for you guys, but this is actually a good message, so we'll take it. I'm actually going to read what it says in this book for you too, because sometimes that's really good to do. Where is it? Oh, the crumbling, it's called. My only issue with this card deck because it's so hard to find things. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to read it to you. What are you clinging to? There is a shift happening right now where anything inauthentic can no longer survive. Relationships, jobs, social structures, anything built on shaky ground is destined to tumble down. It's happening to bring you back home to who you truly are. Ooh, that jumps back to our Cancer conversation. So you can live a life that is in alignment with who you truly are. When you're in the thick of it, it can feel like a personal attack from the universe. Have faith because the difficult times will be your defining moments. You will be reborn in the fire. You are being called to surrender, to stop trying to hold it all together, to loosen your grip, to let the crumbling occur. It may be difficult at first, but in the end, the sooner you let go, the sooner the rebirthing will occur. What are you trying to hold together? What are you doing your best to avoid? How are you trying to pretend everything is okay? You have what it takes to allow what is falling away to tumble and fall. Once the tower has crumbled, you will be able to rebuild your home on solid ground with mighty foundations and a view that is so magnificent that it will take your breath away with each new morning. Kali, the goddess of destruction, and the Black Madonna are with you now. Lay it all on their altar. They can hold it. I love that. I love that a lot. Okay, I will post this right up in the Restoration Facebook group. I hope you guys have an awesome Thursday. I'll see some of you in a little bit. Movement. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the weekend energy update. And also 4:30 tomorrow with Channeling with Petey. Have a great one.